All right, everyone. It is story time. So make sure you get a snacky and get all comfy in your chair because it's a story. And that's what you do for stories. So anyways, this story takes place at a church camp I went to a long time ago. And it was fun. It was fun to say give it the benefit of the doubt, I guess, for the entire outcome that happened. Pretty much this church camp was a 5 or 7 day, I can't remember, it was so long ago. I want to say it was a 5-day trip. We went to some place in Oklahoma, and it was like an actual camp, so you're away from your house, as you do in camps. And pretty much all you did was, in the morning you went to worship, and then during the day you did like team stuff, like you got teams when you went, and you competed against other teams. But yeah, so there was those little things that we did. We like did activities, and you worshiped in the morning and at night. And then after like the night worship, you went to a prayer circle or a prayer group with your team. And in that prayer circle, this is like on day 3, by the way, you prayed in your prayer circle. But on this particular day, you know, there's these things called scorpions. And if you don't know what a scorpion is, it looks kind of like this. Yeah. And so scorpions are somewhat prominent in Oklahoma from what I've heard. I don't know if that's a proven fact or not, but that's just what I've heard. And I didn't feel it crawl up my leg or anything, but it did. And while we were in the middle of prayer, I got stung by one of these, bro. On the back of my leg. And then I remember as soon as that happened, I like did like a flinch or whatever. I didn't want to cause a distraction to the group or like anyone else. I made a little twinge there, and I look at the back of my leg. I don't see anything there. All I see is just there's like blood going down my leg now. That's all I see is just blood going down my leg and nothing there. I'm like, what the heck happened? And then I look over to my right a little bit, and I see this little thing crawling away. We go back into praying, and I start having a spasm. Now, before I say anything else here, everything beyond this point, I have been informed from other people, from witnesses. I don't really remember anything the rest of the night from what happened after that. I don't remember anything from there. So I'm just basing off what I've heard from other people. And so, with that being said, I start having a spasm, and I land on the ground, and I start having a spasm. Now, the first thing that happens is when the officials, whatever they're called, come over and they see this, their first thing says is that I was in shock because one of the other leaders 5 minutes ago had some sort of like breakdown or something. And so they said I was in shock from another leader that was in a completely different room. So I don't know where they got the idea that, oh, I was in shock because I somehow saw someone else having a mental breakdown in a room completely separate from where I am. We can't even see other rooms from where we're at. We can't even hear anything. None of us even knew about it until right then. They automatically just assumed that was what was going on with me and that nothing had happened. Keep in mind, I still had blood going down my leg. And I guess my leader that was in control of our group pointed that out. that was not part of the issue here, and that it could have been because something had stung me or something happened to my leg. Because at this point, none of the group knew what happened until after I started having a spasm, but they found out later in the day as to what happened. So I was having a spasm. I get taken to a quote unquote hospital, aka it's just like the little nurse area at the camp where you go to the nurse and they give you an ice pack for everything. However, this kept up because they literally gave me an ice pack for a sting when I was having a spasm in the middle of a floor. They gave me an ice pack on my leg, bro. And then they gave me some other medicine. I don't know what it was. But that's what they did. And then then after like an hour of me laying there, they sent me back out to where the groups were having their little like party thing. I don't remember what day it was. There's some sort of like party day though, where they're having a celebration, and they sent me back out to where all the groups were all like doing their things. Also, my brother was there with me though. My brother was there, so he kind of took care of me, kind of understand what's going on. He was upset with the how they handled the whole situation with me, because I went out there having no clue. I could barely even see. I couldn't look at my brother in the eye, and I was still like, I wasn't acting the same way as I usually would. So he knew something was wrong with me. He did say, he asked me what was wrong, because he had no idea what was wrong until they sent me back out of the hospital there. And I like mumbled like my words a whole bunch, and so I could barely speak to him. And so he was really upset. And then we go to find out they never even contacted my parents. By the way, we're underage. We're minors at this point. Or at least I was there with my friend, my brother, and of course myself, and then the rest of the people that were part of the whole camp, which there was about like 200 kids and the entire camp. And so they never contacted my parents, and they have to have like a signed thing from our parents saying that, oh yeah, it's okay for us to go on. They have to get all the contact information in case something goes wrong. So they have my parents' contact information. It's not like they just couldn't contact my parents. They never even did once. So my parents, we got back. When we got back, they didn't even know about this entire thing until we told them. And so the day after we got back, I got taken to my doctor, and they prescribed me they gave me an EpiPen, and they're like, yeah, this was an allergic reaction and all that stuff. But anyways, besides that point, past that day, the day after, my leg was still like, every now and then it would just start shaking. The leg that got stung, it would just shake, and I could, it was hard to walk. And it was like, it was really swollen as well, so it was bigger than my other leg. And the one thing I do remember was the day after, I had like, we're in these like these dorms pretty much, where there's like 40 beds, like 40 bunk beds. And I remember like some of the kids just staring at me. I was like, what? I don't know why they're just staring at me. And that was definitely a weird experience. Just remembering this just makes me laugh. And it's just insane how they took care of this entire situation, man. But yeah, the only thing I remember from there was that I dominated in the basketball competitions and in Gaga Ball. If you don't know what Gaga Ball is, pretty sure you have like a volleyball or some sort of ball that you have to like hit. You have to try and like, you have to hit it with your hand. You can't pick it up. You have to like hit it with your hand and try and hit your opponent's feet, pretty much. That's the only way I can explain it. I was a god at that. I will be honest here. If I had a win-loss ratio, it would be like a 2 or a 3. I played that so much, and I barely lost. It was I was godly at it, man. I was godly. I had the technique down. I had the way of like spiking the ball or like spinning it when you hit it. And I had like a way of tricking other people to where they would think I wouldn't be able to hit them, but I did. I like how I'm getting off topic here about the entire story, but like, you know, I had to bring in the entire thing. You know what? I'm telling you about the entire like church camp experience. By the way, I never went back to another church camp after this. This is my first one. I never went back to one. So in case, you know, maybe you had the idea, oh, did you go to another one after that? No, I never did. I never did. Yeah, my parents were pretty upset with them as well. Like I said, everything that I've mentioned here, it's from other people and what they've told me from that night. Make sure to leave a subscribe and like the video so more people can hear about the torment I went through on a church camp. I also respond to every single comment that y'all do. So make sure to leave a comment and give me some ideas or how you felt about the video. Maybe you've had a similar experience. Have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, whatever it is for you. I don't know where you live. So goodbye.